Well, I felt very lucky because I wasn't meant to be part of it. Although I was part of the squad, the captain of the All Blacks was a gentleman called Andy Dalton, who was the hooker and the captain. So he was meant to play all the games, and unfortunately for Andy, he got injured. So I was very fortunate to play those games. But once again, for us, the Northern Hemisphere didn't even want a World Cup. The Southern Hemisphere, it was their initiative. They put it forward. And for us, at the end of the day, we beat France in the final. It was like, well, great, we've won the World Cup. But it didn't, the World Cup has moved on so much from where it was in 1987, commercially, and what it means. Coaches and players are basically judged on the World Cup success, where in 1987 it was about being an All Black was first of all the most important thing. People say that I think there's obviously an issue now. It's a real monkey on our back that we need to get off. We need to win this World Cup, just so we can move on and people stop calling us chokers and all those sort of things. I think in the past it's been for us we don't prepare for World Cups. It's always been about if you're good enough you'll play. I think this time less so than last time, which I'm really pleased about. Graham and the selectors have said, right, 4 years out, this is the way we need to go about it. And as a fan of the All Blacks, I think they've gone about it the right way. They've prepared a squad that's got a huge experience, got a lot of young talent, but they've played their best team week in, week out. And I think in the past, maybe we haven't done that. We've been a bit unlucky sometimes, we've been a bit arrogant sometimes. And we have refereeing decisions, and that's what World Cup's about. Unfortunately, we've just lost the wrong game at the wrong time. And we've been knocked out. But year in, year out, as you said, we've been rated the #1 team in the world. Hopefully this year we can get it right. There's a lot of pressure on us, but I like that. And when you look back over all the other World Cups, 03 we probably should have done better than that in terms of beating Australia. 95, we should have won that. 99, 2007. So if I was a betting man, I'd bet on the All Blacks. I find it very hard for people to say they won't win it because they're the #1 ranked team in the world. We've got the best captain in world rugby. And as I said, we've got experience and youth blended in nicely. So, it's very easy to say they won't win. It's a 50-50 chance, isn't it? But if I was a betting man, I'd rather put my money on the All Blacks than anyone else. No, I think it's good. I think, as I said, that wave of enthusiasm of the whole nation getting behind us. All Blacks are expected to win, which is great. Long may that continue. And yeah, sure, they're under pressure. So they're doing everything they can to make sure they're successful. And we expect that as a nation and as supporters of the All Blacks. We expect Richie and the team and Graham Henry and the coaches to do everything they can to make sure they win. I don't know if we've got too many weaknesses, but definitely I think it's crucial in any World Cup campaign. You need a really good leader and you need a good leadership group, and the All Blacks have got that. I think Mills Muliaina right through to Kevin Mialamu in the hooking position. There's a huge amount of strength and experience. Richie's McCaw is an outstanding leader of men from where he was 4 years ago. He's moved on, he's gained that real experience that's needed. And then we have a blend of youth, and which is just so crucial in enthusiasm. I think Sonny Bill Williams could be a real star of the team. South Africa worries me just in terms of what they are doing at the moment in terms of resting their key players. Whether that's a good thing or not a good thing, I don't personally think it's a good thing. But they've got a huge amount of experience. They've won 2 World Cups. They know what it's all about. And a lot of this team won the World Cup last time. They're defending champions. So South Africa are a worry for me. We need to be obviously very wary of France in our pool games. We need to win that to make sure we qualify top. And then you've got, the unfortunate thing about World Cups is only probably 4 or 5 teams that can win the World Cup. And as the IAB need to make sure that grows, obviously. But you'd have to be worried about England. I concerns me how, as a New Zealander, that they have got such a huge player depth to draw from. They've got a lot of money, and they're going to get it right eventually. And it could be this World Cup. They've got a very good draw. They play Australia, they play France in their quarter-final, so that quarter-final, semi-final, they can beat both those teams, and then once you get to the final, who knows in terms of what they can do. And obviously Australia for me, the way they played against South Africa in the Tri-Nations opener, I thought they showed a lot of experience and a lot of composure, with a huge amount of flair in the back line, so they're going to be a threat also. From 1 to 15, they've got key players right throughout the team, a huge amount of experience. They've got the best, probably set-piece team in the world. They've got, backies both, Victor Matfield, Fury Dupré, Jacques Fourie. They've just got players right through their whole team, and then you throw in a player like John Smith, who's been named as captain already, just experience off the field, and the best hooker in world rugby at the moment, and Bismarck du Plessis. So if they can get their best 15 on the field, they're going to be a real threat come World Cup time. And I think with Australia, and I think we saw it when they played Samoa, and they lost to Samoa, that they have got very little depth in key positions, and when you take those key players out, they got exposed. So they cannot afford to have any injuries. I think they've got a forward pack that can compete with the best forward packs in the world when they've got the best 15 players, or the best 8 players out on the field, but if they have any injuries, that is where they're going to get exposed. Quade Cooper, the 10, I think Will Guinea at 9 is outstanding. O'Connor on the wing is a world-class player. And then you look at the forwards, Rocky Elsom, their captain, is coming back from injury, played a lot better in the opening Tri-Nations game. But they've got some world-class players. But as I said, they lack a bit of depth in some key positions. The Higginbothams of the world, who played for the Reds, I thought he was superb. And that's what they probably need to do, Australia, is build on the success of the Reds that they had in the Super 15 going forward into this World Cup. I think it helped them. I think it's helped a lot of those players, and the same last year when they beat them in Hong Kong. Australia beat New Zealand in Hong Kong. That it just gives them a bit of, we can beat these guys, because a lot of those players, 8 months ago, had never ever beaten the All Blacks, and it'll be the same. And a lot of those players had never beaten the Crusaders, and to beat a Crusaders team in a final that had, all the All Blacks that they had playing, Sonny Bill Williams, McCaw, Andy Ellis, all these key players that they've had, and to beat them. Is obviously a real bonus and a real confidence boost for some of these Australians. But in saying that, they can't get too carried away with that success, because Super 15 rugby isn't Test rugby, and the All Blacks is a different proposition than a Crusaders team.